Well, just to put a bow on this Tiffany Haddish, Aries Spears lawsuit thing, the child molestation lawsuit against them has been dismissed. The two comedians were accused of grooming and molesting two children, but now, according to TMZ, the plaintiff asked the judge to drop the case with prejudice. That means they cannot be refiled again. The unidentified woman who sued the two issued a statement saying, "My family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years. We now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us. We wish Tiffany the best and are glad that we can put this behind us." No mention of Aries Spears in that quote.
Took a long way to get there.
Yeah, the lawsuit, if you're not familiar, if you haven't been following up, stemmed from a skit that Tiffany and Aries did with these kids. The footage was deemed inappropriate, and it was I can't remember the name of it. It was like How to Be a Pedophile or something like that, and apparently it's all behind us now.
Well, then there's that whole Ricky Martin thing.
Yeah,
you know what
with his
happens?
nephew.
Yeah, do you guys know how that one ended?
Well,
No.
I think Ricky Martin's suing him now.
Yeah, and then the nephew dropped it or
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
The whole point is they get out there with this guy's a pedophile, or he beats his wife or something, or he's racist, or now they just use racist on everyone. And they throw it out there, and then several months goes by, and it's like, he's not.
Goes away.
But it's like, you kind of got it burned in that there's something going on.
Ask me
here.
if I know who Ricky Martin is.
You know who Ricky Martin
Oh, that
is?
rapist who fucked his nephew?
Yeah, we tried.
Well, that's
Or
all I
something.
remember.
Yeah,
that's the only part I remember.
That's the problem when they then go, it was really nothing.
Well, I'd like to point out that we did do our due diligence on this show and
Good.
wrap that up as well. So hopefully everything's okay with them. Speaking of your junk online, Tommy Lee was not kidding about launching his OnlyFans account. He has done it. He's the Motley Crue drummer, as you know. His page is at onlyfans.com/Tommy Lee, and fans can subscribe for a monthly rate of $19.99. So far, he has uploaded 27 pieces of media. He promoted the launch of the account with a trailer media.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the trailer he posted to bring one and all over to his site.
That was 80% archival footage and 20% one take Tommy.
Is there going to be dick pics?
Well, I would have to think
lied.
so. Remember, there was a big investigation launched to figure out who posted that naked picture of him, and then he realized in a blackout, oh yeah, he did it.
Well, look, I don't claim to know the man well, but I do know the man, and no sweeter guy.
Yeah,
he's
seems like a nice
sweet
guy.
There's a lot of guys that are different, but he's a sweet, but
Kind of like a youthful. I don't know how to describe it.
Mind of a
boyish
child.
charm.
Yeah.
But I did go to his house to do his wife's podcast, and she was explaining to me that he was out golfing.
Oh.
And whenever I talk to these guys, and whenever I come up to someone's house in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, and find out that somebody is somewhere other than work, especially golfing, I always get super jealous. Yeah. But I think he's doing the math. He just can go home, take pictures of his chode, send it out, and then go golf some more.
Yeah, it's a
which
good business
I
model.
would do
Sure.
as well if I
Sure.
had that kind of hog. You know, he take a picture of your dick, and then you just go, play the back nine.
That's a good day.
That's a good day.
And I would understand the very understanding wife.
Yes.
This is how you're making some money now. Look at you
Yes,
guys.
it's Tommy
Giving you a wet willy.
licking the side of my face.
What a nice fella. He's a nice guy.
He's a super nice guy.
Some piping hot Byron Allen news.
Really?
I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on right now, but he, media mogul, TV host, he's been given the green light by a judge to sue McDonald's for $10 billion. And this is really interesting. This might be interesting to talk to Garagos about because the lawsuit accuses McDonald's of racial stereotyping by not advertising with Black-owned media. He can sort of back it up. So listen to this. He accused McDonald's of relegating his Entertainment Studios Network Incorporated and Weather Group LLC, which owns the Weather Channel, by the way, to an African-American tier. That's a tiering system they have in the ad agencies with a separate ad agency and much smaller ad budget, depriving them of tens of millions of dollars of ad revenue.
Byron Allen, I've just worked with him. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of him over the last month. People don't realize who he is. now, and
Mogul.
I won't get all of it right, but there's a certain we carve out stuff for like we want this many African American owned entities or businesses, or we will award this contract to this group over that group because they're underrepresented, whatever. He's understands all of it and fucking plays it all like a fiddle and just cashes in. I don't know. He's figured out that they are giving him. I know. I don't happen to like this. I don't like the affirmative action shit. But he understands it and he fucking plays it. And he's a cajillionaire.
Well, and he's a cajillionaire now who also could possibly be awarded $10 billion.
Well, I'm going to be nicer to him.
You should be.
Next time I see him.
And I would have to imagine. I would hope Christy can't speak to this, but you never know that. I would imagine an African-American tier doesn't really go into the email system. You know, I don't know that that's the official name for it.
No, it's probably diversity or whatever the nomenclature is for that agency. I'm sure the business model here is sue for $10 billion. Very small chance of winning, but walk away with a $10 million payout.
But the meaning behind it is they don't get as much money. They don't deserve it. They don't need it. That's not the clientele we're going after. They get relegated to a separate, smaller ad agency with a separate, smaller budget. And I think that's sort of what he's clinging to right now.
Yeah, I guess we do all this all the time, but the market. McDonald's is not trying to not make money, and they're not trying to be racist. They're trying to make money.
Yeah, they have the McRib. They want black people in the store.
That's right.
They
want the Irish too because
there
they
you
have
go,
the Shamrock
Shake. Yeah, right.
So they're all inclusive.
Well, he does make that point, saying they want black people to buy their product, but they're not putting the money back in.
Maybe they've decided that black people will buy and they no longer need to advertise to them.
Yeah.
Like every time I see a commercial for In-N-Out Burger, I'm like, there is an In-N-Out Burger that is nestled where the 2 freeway and the 134 overpass, Glendale, whatever, it's down about 80 feet. And no matter what time I drive home, I look to my left and I see 45 cars going around the block. I mean,
employees out there with iPads, taking orders.
You run commercials.
Why?
I love In-N-Out. I rarely eat it In-N-Out because the line is so long. Like, why do we need to get the word out?
Yeah, it's a good point. I actually just read an article about the quotes at the bottom of each bag and how they differ. There's like John 3:16. The quotes. The quotes from the J-Man.
From the book.
Yeah. The ones on the cup versus the ones on the fry
there's
bottom.
Different ones.
Apparently because one of the family members, or it might have been the owner, he sort of found God, or he found Christianity very late in life, like right before he died. And this was something that he felt suddenly very strongly about. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Let's move on to the royals, shall we? Meghan Markle. Not done with the royal family.
God, I hate her so much.
Getting very brave now that there's a regime change. She wants to clear the air with her father-in-law, with King Charles, before she leaves the UK.
Hey.
She's requested a one-on-one meeting. Royal reporter Neil Sean says Meghan made the request in a formal letter, and that the meeting will serve as an opportunity to put the rights from wrongs and explain some of the rationale behind what they've been doing the last 2 years. No word if the meeting is going to happen, but Sean called Meghan very brave. And, of course, this comes after the funeral. And she walked with the family, and they did the whole thing, and now she'd like to talk to Dad.
I like the other wife, Kate. What's her name?
Middleton, yeah.
Yeah.
She was born for this role.
And, like Tom Jones says, she knows her place.
That's right.
But she's not in the way.
That's
right.
right.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think they got promoted.
Oh, she's the Duchess.
She's the princess.
Find that song. I was sitting at the Fantastic Sam's going, what the hell? Just digging into every lyric of that song, which I've never done before.
I've seen somebody do this in karaoke, and it killed. Here's an interesting idea. The National Transportation Safety Board is asking the government to require all new cars to be equipped with a blood alcohol monitoring system that could stop a drunk person from operating their vehicle. The recommendation was made to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The report suggests that the technology could greatly reduce the number of alcohol-related crashes. That's responsible for 30% of highway deaths in the U.S. And according
to really careful how you come out against this.
Yeah, exactly. According to them, nearly 43,000 people were killed last year in alcohol-related crashes, the most in 16 years.
The ACLU should be against this. They're violating their civil liberty to drive drunk.
How many of those people would have crashed anyway? Number one.
Interesting that, it's not just for once it's already happened.
I don't know what the pushback is, but here is the pushback. The government. The government is getting way over their fucking skis on everything. And so a lot of people are like, you want us to all have an electric car, and then you want us to, and there's even some legislation about like, here's when you can use your washer, and here's where you can use your dryer, and here's what your thermostat could be at. But what if the government got to control the thermostat, or whether your car could run, or whether you were driving too much, or what are you doing charging during a flex alert? Yeah. We can shut your car off from here. And that's the part.
Guy?
It sounds like
it is. Well, that's where we're at. Yeah. I didn't want to get here, but there is some legislation about thermostats. Like, we need to have it controlled so that people can, during flex alerts and whatever. And it is slippery slope, but it's getting into what else do they know? What else do they have control over? What else do they have access to? And I'm not finding that they're being ultra responsible with their powers and their information and their control. That's what I'm not finding.
I mean, we have electricity crisis, and they want us to all have electric cars, and then they're saying, oh, well, don't charge it for the next week because we don't have enough electricity to go around. They say, oh, we want affordable housing. We want more people to come in. We want the migrants to come in, but we don't have enough resources. We don't have enough water. We don't have enough, electricity. We don't have enough of anything. Why do you want affordable housing? Why do you want more people to come in? You should be saying, hallelujah, people are leaving California. Yay!
Yay.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say what you've said before, which is a 0.08 to one person is not the same as a 0.08 to another person.
Well, if you've got the heavyweight, designation, sure.
Right.
Yeah. No, there is, look, we all know people have a glass of champagne and shouldn't leave the house. And then we know the guys that can put away a few cold ones. But I would argue, they talk about the field sobriety test, but let's really do a field sobriety. Let's set up some cones.
Oh, like a shuttle drill.
Yeah, I think with a few cold ones in me, I could outperform most of my family members on a closed course with some cones. You know what I mean? So let's see who the real danger is.
Yeah, you can test out of having this in your car.
My grandmother, toward the end of her life, got into an accident every 4 days in her car. Like, her last 6 months of driving, she'd gotten 11 accidents. Like, she shouldn't have had a license. But if you were behind her and you drank 3 beers, you'd be the monster.
Oh, you'd be in jail.
That's right.
And that's what I don't understand. Maybe I'll have a different perspective when I get there. I don't know. But don't you think you should have to retake your actual get in the car driving test at a certain age?
No.
I think so.
I think
you're older than us, so you don't want that.
Well, at 75, you don't just want to double check that you have what it takes?
I'm fine.
I don't know what the age is, but I think in California, once you reach 70, 75, something like that, you do have to retake the driving test.
But it's such a nightmare to do it the first time. Why do you want to impose this on
people? It's the worst.
All right, one more, Gina.
All right, let's see. So there isn't, this is a couple days old, but so far there's no movement on it. So I really, really want to just put it on everyone's radar if you haven't heard it yet. Steph Curry, reportedly on the verge of signing a lifetime contract with Under Armour for $1 billion.
Underpaid.
Byron Allen wants a taste of
That's
that.
right. The news comes as Curry's current Under Armour deal is scheduled to end in 2024. According to reports, the lifetime contract would also include Curry receiving his own subsidiary
Can I just
brand.
say
like
this?
Michael
Forget
Jordan
about
did.
him.
Yeah.
And that the dollars. I grew up, Charlotte. I grew up in the Valley. for my entire life, if it's like $1 million, this was in $1 million home, or he signed to $1 million, or he was paid $1 million to make a move. It's like $1 million. Then we start going into this like, well, the government's printing $200 billion, and then LeBron James is getting $1 billion, and Steph Curry's got $1 billion, and Byron Allen suing for $10 billion, and it's like, I'm a millionaire and I feel like shit now. You know? Like,
what was it for?
It's
You poor
fucking
thing.
chump change. My entire life. It's like, he's going to be a millionaire one day, a millionaire. Now I'm a millionaire. No one gives a fuck.
All the real rich people are laughing at you.
I know.
It's sad.
And it's like you're looking at $1.2 million
Oh,
homes
boy.
in
The
Valley
dream.
Village
That's right.
that need a roof.
That's exactly right.
You understand, we had $1 million was just the benchmark for the first 100 years, and then pow.
Yeah, now it's the entry level. Like every homeowner in LA is worth $1 million.
Yeah. If a house cost a flat $1 million, we could find a way to move in tomorrow.
And it's the symbolism that's fucked up too. And now my head is starting to swim. Like, he gets $1 billion. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does that just mean? You never have to work again? I mean, you'd have to fulfill the contract. But what I'm saying is we got here too fast.
Mm-hmm.
It started to trickle into, oh, the guy has a $3 million house or something like that. Now it's just billions.
Yeah.
That's
Everything's
because
just
the
billions.
gap has been widening between the rich and the poor.
Yeah.
And so the rich have been just getting richer and richer. And during the pandemic, the rich got lots richer. And then you had these PPP loans, which were really just for forgiveness. And I know a lot of very wealthy people who got huge loans and were completely forgiven. So, yeah, I mean, these people just racked it up during the pandemic and even before. So,
Yeah, I remember the 94 earthquake when we were still in the millions, but I was renting a house with two dudes in La Crescenta, and I would talk to people who owned a house, and FEMA paid to fix their pool and paid to fix it. And it's like, oh, you're getting
Lots
a
of
new
upgrades.
pool and a new cinder block fence in your backyard, and I'm just still renting over here.
Poor schmuck.
well, I had a house in Northridge during that earthquake.
Oh, my God.
And we did have a crack in our pool, and the insurance company was extremely generous. And everybody I knew was like, please, another earthquake. I made so much money off of that earthquake. That's what people were telling
That
me.
was called the Northridge earthquake.
right. Yeah.
And every single cinder block wall fell over. And the way I made money from the earthquake is I came around and built dog-eared redwood fencing in all the people whose big cinder block walls tipped over during the earthquake. That's how I made my bones.
Yeah, that's how you got rich.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Well, she never asks for very much, and I don't refuse her.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
Chris D'Elia's coming in tomorrow, so always a pleasure to talk to him. Charlotte Laws, man. Obviously, the doc, The Most Hated Man on the Internet's a very good watch on Netflix, and Undercover Debutante is the book. It's available now. Jewel, talk about a couple of dynamo women who've
It's awesome.
both under 5'5", but packing a wallop. Freewheeling Woman, available on vinyl October 21st. And the Foundation, the Inspiring Children Foundation as well. You go to AdamCarolla.com. Hollywood improv shows coming up on October 19th. Everything Reminds Me of Something, the name of the book. You can enjoy that as well. And until next time, this is Adam for Jewel and Charlotte Laws and Gina Grad and Ball Bryant. Say it. Mahalo.